Hey everyone, this is Lucas, I'm Martin, and today we are going to compare my number one 335 from 2015 with my newly acquired number two 335 from 2016.
Those of you that follow the channel and know us know that Martin loves his 335. It's his absolute number one guitar. And yeah, Martin, why exactly did you need another one?
In case something happens to this guitar. I love this one so much that I couldn't imagine losing it in some way or form. So I wanted the backup 335 that is as close as possible to this one as it could get. And the closest thing I could find actually was this 2016 model that popped up at the local used market. 2015 and 2016 have a few minor differences.
So let's start from the headstock.
The headstock is identical on both guitars. You have the truss rod cover with an F-hole on top of it, which I really like and I think looks really cool. You have on the original Grover tuners, they're non-locking. I've changed them on my number one for Clusen locking tuners of the same shape.
Same buttons.
Same buttons. You have the wheels on the back. They are a drop-in fit, so you just remove the old ones, insert the new ones. Work perfectly fine. Yeah, then we have the nut. It's a plastic nut. It's a hard plastic. I have never had issues with this guitar. It stays in tune almost perfectly.
The infamous G-string as well.
Absolutely no problems. I even made a battle with Les, Music Therapy Les, with his Les Paul with the string butler, and my 335 won without the string butler.
Yeah, so it's all about the nut being cut correctly.
Nut being cut correctly, and that has been perfect on this one.
Cool.
No issues at all. When the strings are getting older, you get that occasional pling, but that's that's the sign I need to change the strings, and then it's no issue at all anymore.
Yeah.
So there's that.
The width is the same.
Yeah, that's interesting. We looked up the specs on the guitars, and the neck and the nut width are different on the specs. When you look into the Gibson archives on what specs they delivered these guitars, at least with these two, they are up to 0.1 millimeter identical.
Okay.
So
extremely close.
That's essentially, if you have a little bit more lacquer on one side, that could be measuring error on my side as well. I've measured the nut width and the string spacing, and they are essentially identical. I've measured them up here, down here. I've measured the fretboard all the way. I've measured the thickness of the neck as well.
Okay.
Over here, and
it's the same profile.
It's the same profile. It's there is
sure. This, okay.
Also for you to grab it.
Yeah, it feels also the lacquer. It feels identical.
It's there's no difference on these two guitars. Maybe they have been produced close enough to each other so that one may have the 2015 specs on the neck. Who knows?
That might be. I like the neck profile. It's not chunky. It's
No,
like
not at all.
60s style.
Yeah.
Very comfortable.
So, but still a little bit more than the slim taper necks.
That's true. A bit more, but
Just-
definitely not a big
Yeah.
chunky neck. Do you know the fret wire on these two guitars?
I'm not 100% certain, and the legacy.gibson.com website doesn't offer an information on this one particular, but I think, if I remember correctly, it's narrow, tall nickel frets.
And 22 of those.
22 of those on both guitars, so they are identical.
Yep.
Yeah, fretwork is really good on both of them. It's a torrefied maple fretboard.
There's a relatively big difference in color,
Yeah,
I think. We show it like this.
Let's show it like this. Maybe we can demonstrate it. We'll insert.
This is the number 1, which is darker.
We'll insert pictures, close-ups of them, so you can see it. The number 1 is considerably darker.
this
The number 1 is the 2015 model. Than the 2016 model. On the other hand, the body of the 2016 is a lot darker.
And it's both wine red.
They are both wine red. It should be the same color, but mine is a lot brighter. It's more a cherry red than a wine red.
And this one I'm
This
holding.
one is certainly a wine red. This one,
It's still got the lacquer smell.
yeah, because it's been in the case for a longer time than this one.
Yeah.
This one is out all the time, so it doesn't have that smell anymore.
Fresh Gibson smell from a 2016 guitar. That's pretty cool.
Yeah.
Guitar sniffer.
Yeah. So what this guitar also has, I'll also insert some close-ups of that, is somewhat like a little flame on the lower part.
Yeah. In this area.
In the center area. On the top. That is not the case with the 2015 one. It's black binding. I've read on some specs that it's just fake binding, but
It is actual binding.
the Legacy page tells me it is actual binding. It also has fret nibs over the frets. 2015 one came with just 2 controls, so I had to modify that one to get 4 controls, the full 4 controls, and it has the output jack on the bottom side, while on the 2016 the output jack is on the front.
The more classical position
Yeah.
for the output jack. And
So
this one came stock with 2 volume, 2 tone.
Yeah. The reflector knobs have been exchanged on both guitars. Interestingly enough, this one was essentially modded like my number one, so maybe someone has seen mine.
Just the same taste, maybe.
Maybe just the same taste, maybe someone has seen mine.
Pickups, classic 57 and
Classic
classic 57
57
plus.
Exactly. But what I've noticed, this one has the 2-wire pickup.
Ah, yeah.
So with the shielding and just the hot wire within the shielding. And this one has the full 4-wire conductor. So with that one, I was able to install the Jimmy Page wiring, like most of you know, and we have a body review of this guitar also on our channel.
This doesn't have any push-pulls at the moment.
Nothing at all. I plan to install Jimmy Page wiring on that one as well. And for that, I think I will rip out the original cables of the classic 57s and solder in new ones. So
leave a comment down below if you want to see a video about that.
I
want to see a video about that, I think.
I think I'll dare to do that because, yeah, finding used ones that have these 4 conductors might be a challenge and probably are going for too much money.
Okay. So is there anything else that has been modded on these guitars?
Yeah, the pick guard. Originally, the Studios come without a pick guard. And I've installed one.
This one was installed here as well.
Yeah, just the same.
So since you got this one, the 2016, did you change anything on this one?
No.
Okay, so it came this way.
It came just the way it is, like here, like we see here. I intentionally did not change anything up until now. So yeah, I will try to darken the fretboard with the Monte Presso wax I got from you.
Yeah, that's the one I tried on the Road Worn Strat, and it didn't really work that well on Pau Ferro. So let's find out if it works better on Torrefied Maple.
Yeah.
It's also a hardwood, so I'm not too optimistic.
I'm also not too optimistic because
with
the Torrefied, it's essentially extremely roasted. So yeah, I don't think there is much that is getting into the pores.
It's definitely not gonna hurt it. Maybe it's getting a little bit darker.
We'll see. So I'll make a video of this and
cool. I think I applied 5 layers, so you can try maybe a bunch of layers.
If I don't see much of a difference after the first layer, I will just skip it because I don't think it's worth going for 5 layers. And I think,
but you're not getting this dark.
Yeah,
that's pretty much impossible.
Probably not. In terms of fit and finish, the 2015 model is slightly superior to the 2016 model because there are a few places where the binding meets the wood where it looks like there is no wine red on the wood a little bit.
So the natural wood
color comes through. This might be just that there is a small grain of it where you see it just where the binding meets the wood. Also on the nut over here there's a little red spot between the binding and the nut itself.
It's very minor, but still.
It's very minor. It's nothing that's a deal breaker.
No.
Also the transition from the neck to the body right here
you can feel there's a little
bump where the neck goes over into the body.
Only on this side though.
Yeah.
It's not here.
On the 2015 model, there is nothing like this.
No.
It's totally flush.
Yeah.
Yeah. There's absolutely nothing to complain on this one. This one, the complaints are really minor and these flaws are just like some dings and dongs that you will get later on. So yeah.
And the dings and dongs, they're just a natural thing if you're buying a used guitar. There's a little spot over here. If you're going over it with your finger, you feel a little indentation, a little dent here.
If you look for it while playing, you don't notice it.
No, not at all. But it's just, yeah, if you really look for it.
If you look for it, you will find more minor flaws in the finish and yeah, how it has been handled than with the one I did take care of.
But I still think for a used guitar, it's in great condition.
Absolutely.
How much did you pay? We didn't cover that yet.
2,500 euros. I've certainly overpaid for it.
Did you?
Yeah, it's more than the going value, but the wine red ones are really rare to find. And the thing is, I couldn't haggle him down. Usually you can do this because, yeah, it's been modified. But the thing is, it's all the modifications I would have done anyway. So if I would have bought another 2015 or 2016 wine red model for that much cheaper, I would have had to put in the money for pickguard, knobs, everything that
to look like this.
To look like this, to have it just the way I would have wanted it to be, and yeah, it came right the way it is. So yeah, I did bite the bullet.
So Martin, congrats on your number 2. Yeah, I think it's a great guitar and definitely a worthy backup for your number 1.
Thanks a lot. I'm really happy with it. Yeah, it's just the way I hoped it would be. It even gave me some new ideas because it came with the 50s wiring. And this one had the modern Jimmy Page wiring. And so I've modified this guitar, as you know from a video lately, that I've made this one, the Jimmy Page wiring, as a 50s style.
Yep.
And I will probably have to remove the wiring once more because, yeah, I've noticed the 50s wiring likes the linear pots for the volume much more than the audio taper that I'm using. So yeah, I will have to rip it out once more because the taper on this one is much nicer and smoother and much easier to work with. Yeah, just like that. I really like this guitar, and when playing with it, I don't really miss the Jimmy Page wiring.
That's interesting.
So
because you only have 3 positions and not 23.
Yeah, there's the thing. I haven't missed the Jimmy Page wiring on this guitar with the 50s wiring. So I'm not entirely sure if I really want to change it because previously I mainly used also the coil split positions and the out of phase ones just to brighten it up. And with the 50s wiring you can also do this in the middle position.
Oh, okay.
So since I've installed the 50s wiring on this one, I also haven't really used much of the push-pull pots anymore. So
that's an interesting development.
Yeah, it is. So
cool.
If just for that alone, that one opened my eyes quite a bit.
The world of 50s wiring.
The world of 50s wiring.
And with that, thanks a lot for watching. This is Martin, I'm Lucas. See you in another video. Bye-bye.
Bye.